Shocking lion attack in Queensland. Horrific lion attack at Darling Downs Zoo. Woman loses arm. A woman in her 50s has suffered a devastating injury after being mauled by a lion at the Darling Downs Zoo near Toowoomba, Queensland on Sunday morning. The incident occurred around 8:23 a.m. when emergency services were alerted to the attack involving the large predator. Let's get into the thick of it in today's AI podcast episode.
Okay, let's jump into this. We're doing a deep dive today into something, well, pretty shocking that happened recently. It really raises some serious questions, I think, about how we interact with animals, even in places we think are safe. We're looking at an incident at the Darling Downs Zoo, that's near Toowoomba in Queensland, Australia. Happened just a few weeks back, early Sunday morning, about 8:23 a.m. A woman, she's in her 50s, thought to be a staff member there, was attacked by an African lion. It was severe. She actually lost her arm in the mauling.
Yeah, it's a devastating injury.
Absolutely. Thankfully, the response was quick. She was airlifted to Princess Alexandra Hospital down in Brisbane, and latest reports say she's in stable condition, which is, some relief at least.
Definitely.
Right after it happened, the zoo, they put up a quick Facebook post, just said they were closing temporarily because of unforeseen circumstances.
Understandable, I suppose.
And pretty quickly, the Workplace Health and Safety Queensland inspectors, the WHSQ guys, they were on site, starting to figure out exactly what happened, the circumstances around it all.
Right. And what's really fascinating, maybe ironic is the word, when you look at the source material, is the zoo's background. Darling Downs Zoo, it's not some new operation. The people running it, Steve and Stephanie Robinson, they've been involved with lions, like breeding and care, since way back in 1997.
Wow, okay. So a long time.
A long time. They officially set up the zoo in 2002. And they have tawny lions, but also the rare white ones. Even had cubs recently.
Right.
But here's the thing. Just 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks before this attack, the zoo posted on their Facebook page. And they were talking about the, quote, close bond between their lionesses and humans.
A close bond. Okay.
Yeah. And they were promoting these personalized encounters, said they were strictly monitored and for the animal's own enjoyment and well-being.
Huh. That puts a very different light on it, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the central question for this deep dive, isn't it? You've got this established zoo, decades of experience, these recent statements about bonds and safe encounters, and then this happens. What does it actually tell us about, the reality of safety protocols and maybe our whole understanding of interacting with these animals, even in places like this?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because when you hear close bond, personalized encounters, especially from experienced handlers, an incident like this just forces you to ask, what are the real risks, even for the pros? How much control do we actually have?
Well, it throws that tension into sharp relief, doesn't it?
Sure.
You've got, on one side, clearly dedicated people, years of care, trying to foster appreciation for these animals, but we're talking about apex predators here, lions.
Right, not pets.
Not pets, exactly. And maybe the insight here is about that line between sort of conditioning an animal and its fundamental instinct. You can manage behavior through training, familiarity, conditioning, sure, but that management relies on predictability. And as this shows, things can break down. Unforeseen circumstances, like the zoo said. That primal nature, it's always there. It can't be erased.
So those social media posts may be well-intentioned, but could they almost create a misleading picture, like a dangerous sense of familiarity for people, thinking these animals are somehow tamed?
I think that's a real risk. We tend to anthropomorphize, right? We project our feelings onto animals. And when the zoo itself talks about the animal's enjoyment from these encounters, while positive interaction is important for welfare, framing it quite like that in human terms of enjoyment, well, it can really blur the reality of a powerful predator's inherent nature.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
This forces a hard look at how we talk about these interactions, both to the public and maybe even internally among staff. It's just a very stark reminder, isn't it, that close bond or not, you're dealing with immense power and instinct, hundreds of pounds of it.
It really does make you pause.
That's it.
Makes you reconsider what controlled environment actually means when you're face-to-face with that kind of wildness. So this deep dive, it's really shown the layers, the complexities, sometimes the unexpected and harsh realities behind things we assume are managed and safe.
Absolutely. And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Especially when you consider something else from the sources. Lions in captivity, they can live a lot longer than in the wild. Wild lifespan is maybe up to 14 years, typically.
Yeah.
In zoos, it could be significantly more.
Yeah.
So considering incidents like the one at Darling Downs and knowing we keep these animals close for extended lifespans, What are the deeper questions we should be asking ourselves, ethically, practically, about just how close humans should be to powerful predators, even when we call it captivity?
What safety measures do you believe should be mandatory for zookeepers working with dangerous animals? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.